Hey guys, Sally here. Welcome back to my videos. Probably my favorite type, which is swatching. I'm going to do some ishimarubunkoudou inks. I have 7, but the first thing we need to do is, I said every time I would spill ink on this little cardboard, I'm going to add a sticker. So I thought for the first one, we will do that together. This is the very beaten up Midori sticker release book that I keep in my bag with my diary. So it's got a whole bunch of like things for work and a whole bunch of different things. But let's jump in. I feel like Slay has to go on there. That one's a bit beaten up. I might have to pull out some bigger stickers. Sorry, there were some swear words there. I don't want this to take a lot of time. I do have a few more fountain pen stickers as well, so I might think about finding them. I don't know, this could be an awful idea, but I thought it could kind of be nice to slowly, why won't that come up? Slowly just fill it up with stickers. So, officially, I have one here too, actually. What do we want to put there? Probably not my boring ones that tell me when I need to, pick people up. What about later haters? Cool. That was really just for me, but have all my usual, I say that and now I don't know what it is, all my usual swatching tools, my now very stained little toothbrush holder from Daiso, my wearing gold nib on this nib holder, and my little muddler, and I'm going to go with the vial cap again. I was making myself a cup of tea and then realized I didn't have any milk. Whoops. So I have gone with a peppermint tea, still in my Hobonichi A6, very much coming to an end. And I just have my little ink catalogue off to the side if I'm wanting to do any comparisons. I'm going to zoom in. Hopefully that's... So I'll see how long this video goes for. I do have a little stack to swatch as well, but I had 7 of the same brand, so I thought I'd do them all at once. 1 to almost half are based on drinks, but I think this Ishimaru has some really cool naming conventions, and that's kind of, I looked at the colors, it's all from Desk Bandit, but that's kind of what I based it on. The only one of these that I've used is I put a little bit of Gin Daisy in a pen just to write a card, but otherwise they're all going to be pretty, like, they're new to me, which is super exciting. So we get to kind of look at them together. And I say kind of because, well, time is a construct, So starting up with this one, which is called Martini. Ooh, I love it already. Ishimaru number their inks as well, kind of like Pen BBS. So this is number 83, Martini. I'm going to assume, because obviously a martini is clear, but maybe kind of representing the olive a little bit there. Number, what did I say? I think I said 86, but it's actually 83. Obviously didn't do enough of a little dunk. Martini. Straight away, kind of what it's reminding me of is probably Dust Storm, maybe from Colorverse. It's really in that browny, olivey green area, which is really nice. It felt nice coming off this nib, and even when I didn't put any pressure there, it's looking like it will go down quite nicely in a pen. I am slowly building up a nice little collection of that kind of olive green inky area, but I actually separated it a little bit just looking at like kind of this page here. So that was the one it reminded me of as well. It could be good. I would like to do a Goose Poupon Inaho kind of dupe comparison video. So this one has a bit of a cult following, but that was the one that came to mind first. I think Dust Storm is maybe a touch more yellow, especially in the writing, but that is a pretty cool one to start with. I'm going to do the next one because what I was going to say is that I don't drink martinis, but I'm quite a basic person when it comes to alcohol. I really just like wine, so I don't do a lot of cocktails, but that's okay. If you've watched my videos before, really can't go past an ink that has a wine name in its title, and this is no different. The theme continues, and you'd go, okay, well, what color wine is a pretty vibrant blurple? And it is Wine Cooler, which is number 24. I actually really like that color. I think it's beautiful. It's vibrant. I'm trying to look at it through the camera. It almost, bits of the blue are almost coming through a little bit more on the camera than me looking at it with the naked eye. It's quite purple looking at it like this. But I just think it's a really beautiful color. Look at that. Look at just like the bordering, the haloing that's coming in there. The vibrant purple with the almost like an electric blue around the sides. Really, really cool. So chose that one purely for its name, but pretty happy with what that's looking like. And looking at the writing sample here, yeah, it's looking more that dark purple in the writing sample, but not in a bad way. And they actually look quite nice next to each other, which makes sense in terms of that, color wheel type thing. But yeah, I don't really drink any other cocktails, anything like that. I would love to be someone who drinks whiskey, because I just think, I don't know, there's something about like watching people drink whiskey, like not in a wanky way when they're doing it not to be cool, they just enjoy it. And it looks nice, like the idea or the concept of like just sipping on something a little bit, but that ain't me. But I don't know, do I have any other kind of, I refer to myself as like a basic B word when it comes to alcoholic drinks, because I just stick to things like wine. So do I have any other basic Bs watching and swatching along with me, or are you more of a cocktail person? I was going to say a cocktail girl, and I feel like that's not excluding too many people, because when I was looking at who does watch my videos, it's like 90% women, I think. But let me know. Or what's the drink that got you into cocktails? There you go. This one is Bloody Mary, which is number 76, which really just wants me to break out into that song, 76 Trombones. I saw that the Desk Bandit had a pretty good variety or range of the ishimarubunkoudou inks. It's an ink brand that I really don't know much about and wanted to get to know. I've added it to my list of wanting to research and kind of see what their history and origin is and everything else. But the names definitely spoke to me. Not new, not a new piece of information that sometimes I can very much be swayed by a nickname. I couldn't really think of something that jumped to mind that could look like wine cooler, like Muddy Crowns. No, that's wrong. The Monteverde Super Show Violet's wrong. Just looking at some purples here. I really can't think of anything that's super close. Maybe Lavender Papaya, the Vinter Inks Cult Pens, but I can see differences. And like, I'm not saying that it's not a bad thing, it's a good thing, right? It's great that the sample is very different to anything else that I have. That's awesome. And probably with the Bloody Mary, somewhat similar. I don't have, yeah, I'm going to say Papaya Lavender probably for the wine cooler. I don't have a lot of reds. It's not a color I really go to, and if I do, it's going to be more of the darker colors. If I can find my little red page. Yeah, really nothing. So don't have anything to compare that one to. Next up, this is the one I was saying I put in a pen, so have seen this color a little bit, and well, you'll see in a moment, but love it. It's called Gin Daisy. I'm just assuming a Gin Daisy is a drink. I don't know. On a family holiday once on a cruise, I was not having the best time just in life and was quite literally stuck on a boat with my entire family. And my brother made friends with one of the bartenders. I was of age, and the bartender started like giving him all these different like top shelf gins to try, and so he brought me along one day to try, and even the super fancy ones just didn't do anything for me. And I remember him being like, do you not understand how expensive some of the gins we just got for free were? Just wasted on you, Zara, wasted on you. Well, my mum quite likes a gin and tonic. That's probably, my mum doesn't really drink, but if she does, she will have one gin and tonic. But this colour, just everything about it, the pink underneath, the really cool breakouts of purple, like even then that kind of warmer purpley brown coming in, it's just absolutely, sorry, I just knocked, absolutely gorgeous. I love it. It wrote really well in the pen I put it in as well when I was just writing a Mother's Day card. I'm not always that good at recalling inks that it looks exactly like. Looking at what I've got here, might just be on like some darker pages, like that's not the right type of purple. Just see if I've got anything else in. How good is that sound? I could see it actually almost having a relationship with the Ishimaru Pretending Not to Know Grey, another great name. This is definitely darker, but they're kind of maybe cousins. Or maybe Cherry Blossom from Birmingham, maybe, but I wouldn't call it a dupe by any means. I think they're different inks, but there's definitely a relationship there. Can we just look at that chromo shading that's happening there? Amazing. It dries down to a little bit lighter, just a really nice punchy purpley pink in the pen I had it in. It was just beautiful. So as I said, my experience with Ishimaru inks, very limited, but based on my small pool of evidence, have been really enjoying thus far, like what I've experienced, things like that. So this one is, I actually have no idea if it's a drink, but I just liked the name. And I'm sorry if you're some sort of like cocktail connoisseur. Oh my God, how do you not know? You're butchering this, that, and the other. But this is number 75 and it's called Platinum Blonde. I feel like this ink is going to be really dependent on the paper that you're using as to what you'd call it. To me, it looks like a purple grey. I feel on cream paper it may come up quite different, etc. This is the Tomoe River. The thing that it's reminding me of at the moment is Summer Storm from Robert Oster. In terms of if you want to compare it to a grey, up here, this pen has Earl Grey from Diamine in it. So you can see this looks a lot cooler. There's definitely a warmth there, especially near those two ones. But I do wonder, I think that would be an ink that would be quite different dependent on the paper. But I do, not every month, but I do from time to time quite like having a black adjacent ink. Just for, well, no, I just like having that as part of what I can reach for. So this definitely sits in that category for me. It still has some characteristics, but is also a bit quote unquote plainer, which I say is a good thing, not as a bad thing. The last two I have are inks that I just really liked for the name. So what should we start with? We'll start with Godmother, which is number 6. This one I feel is going to be one of the ones, you know, when you clean off in the water and the water gets that like chemical fluoro aspect to it, just looking about how it's kind of coating the sample vial there. It looks brown in the vial, but then it has a like a pink kind of like slickness to it, kind of almost. Always amazed at the never-ending possibilities of describing inks. I mean, as I'm putting it down here and lifting up, I don't know if that's coming through on the camera, but whoops, as I lift up, you can almost see a super dark green. There you can see a little bit that's kind of coating over. So I wonder if this is a sheeny ink, and that pink that I thought was what was going to be on top seems to actually be the base, and then you've got a really dark brown green coming in over the top. And I just liked the name. One of the pages in my catalogue that I'm doing in the theme section is just, for me, what I just consider great ink names. So this is, oh, where should I write? Should I write? Yeah, I'll write it here. Number 6, and it is God Mother. I don't have any godparents. I don't really think it's not really a thing that's done in the Jewish religion. So I don't know if I've ever, like at school, I never heard anyone talk about their godparents either. I know I wanted a normal tea, but the peppermint, quite good. This like thick browny green that's drying over the top it's kind of really cool. Like that part of it has your like Birmingham Pen Company motor oil. Oh no, hang on. Sorry, oil rag or your Robert Oster detox, but this dusty dark pink underneath is, I almost want something that's also that color. Interested then to see how it completely dries. I can see some warmth, like the E looks probably the driest there, and there is a little bit of warmth coming through, but that color is really quite beautiful too. That's so interesting. Oh, that's really cool. I think I'm not going to be able to fully experience where that ink ends up in terms of color and warmth and everything else until it's in a pen. But again, in a flex nib, for example, versus an extra fine, it's going to be vastly different. Whereas, you know, your Bloody Mary, probably not as different. Last but not least is number 40, which is called Dream. What I will say is all of the inks, like the 7, they've all coated the muddler quite a bit. And if I knew anything about chemistry, I'm sure I could make a correlation as to what that means in terms of its water content and things like that, but I don't know anything about chemistry. I usually just describe it as like they're like thicker inks. Sometimes it just runs off that muddler. You only have to put a tiny bit of water to clean, whereas all of these have really stayed on that muddler and giving it a proper clean in between. So is it like the viscosity? You know what, I feel like that's something Maria would know. Maria, if you're watching, I feel like you know these things. So let me know. What have I gotten wrong? Ooh, okay, I really like that one too. And usually I mean, now that martini has dried, definitely brown. I'm not saying any greens at all. But when it was wet, that kind of olivey green is where I've been heading. But there's something about this kind of cool, can we call it like a green grey kind of? I'm just trying to see if it's coming through. I'll do a close up in a second when they're dry, but there's definitely a grey coming through there, which is really, yeah, really nice. I really don't know what to compare this Godmother to. That underneath bit, I don't know, like cat guards in the courtyard maybe. But I don't like the writing sample then would be really different. But that green, I'm thinking of, it's not Shakespeare. Which one am I thinking of? Shakespeare would be much darker. Just looking, that one's Mad Hatter there, but Mad Hatter has more browns in it, whereas Dream is more grey. Well, that's really, it's kind of cool to see that I don't have many that, oops, I'm knocking over ink vials that look exactly the same. Yeah, I really can't, maybe that's the other one I was thinking of, 90,000 miles, but again, like I can see the substantial difference, which is cool because that means like for most of these, it's not, doesn't have a super likeness to stuff I already have, which is always great. So I'll come in for a close up while they're still a little bit wet, and then we'll see how long the video, I've been going for a while. They're almost all dry. We'll see if I remember, but these are 7 ishimarubunkoudou inks. We have Wine Cooler, Martini, Bloody Mary in the middle, Platinum Blonde, and as it's dried, there's a really nice halo coming around there. Gin Daisy, which is the only one I've had experience with thus far, and I don't know if you can see that writing sample. There's a really, really awesome black border even around the letters. Like, so it's much more pronounced there, but you do get a little bit of it if you have a nib with a bit of character. Platinum Blonde, the ones that are still a little bit wet is Godmother. Just interesting. Look at that brown. So interesting. And then Dream, which I actually surprisingly like that writing sample there, even the number 40, which is, you know, a finer line, actually looks super nice. These two, when I talk about those black or grey adjacents, they fit in that category for me. It's quite a wide ranging category. It doesn't have to be all, if you squint, you realize it's not black. It can still lean towards a color, but just that has like a black or grey undertone, maybe is the better way to say it. But I'm super excited to explore these a bit more. If you've used a lot of the ishimarubunkoudou inks before, please let me know if you have a favorite or any interesting facts about the brand or how you found them in pens. Do you find them drier or better? Anything else? But favorite, if you're only going to leave one comment, I'd definitely ask for the favorite. But there's, out of the 7, probably the 6 are ones I really want to try. But I have had times lately where I have just gone, I just want like a bit of a red in there. So I can see myself using, definitely those 5 first and then something here. No, you know what? I can almost see myself using all of them. All right, I've done that thing where I start to say goodbye and then ramble for however many more minutes. Oh, and I've made another drop, which means I get to put another sticker down. So I will go and do that while these dry, and I will see you in the next one.